Hello dear students, myself Dr. Naneshwari Patil, Assistant Professor from KK Engineering College, Nasik. Today we are going to discuss the topic demineralization method or deionization method. Now this demineralization method or deionization method is one of the methods for carrying out the softening of water sample. We know that when we are having the hard water, then it will be carrying out various types of hazardous effects in the boilers during steam generation. To avoid this hazardous effect, what we can do, we can convert this hard water into the soft water. And for this, we can use two types of treatments known as the internal treatments and external treatments. In internal treatments, we can add some chemicals into the hard water in the boiler and then it will convert into the soft water. While in external treatments, first we can convert a hard water into the soft water and then it can be fed to the boiler. Now in external treatment, again we will have the two types or two methods are available known as the zeolite method and demineralization or deionization method. And today we are going to discuss in detail the demineralization method. Now demineralized water means the water which will be free from all the types of ions in the from the water sample. So demineralized water means basically the water sample which is not having the presence of any type of the salt, will have only H plus and OH minus. We see here when we are collecting the water sample from different resources like well water, river water, etc., then every water sample will have some type of the salts. And demineralized water means it will be free from all the types of the salts. Now how we can convert this hard water into a soft water? So for this demineralization process, we are using the ion exchange resins which are being used as a softener in this particular process. Now what are these ion exchange resins? So these are the long chain organic polymers with which are insoluble, highly cross-linked and having the microporous structure. Now here we are using two types of synthetic ion exchange resins like the cation exchange resin and anion exchange resin. Let us see the cation exchange resin. So cation exchange resin is also called as cation exchanger. So the resin which can easily exchange its H plus ion with the cations present in water is known as the cation exchanger resin. In this cation exchange resin, actually it's a copolymer of the styrene divinyl benzene where it will be having the presence of functional groups, that is sulfonic acid means SO3 minus and H plus, and carboxylic acid, that is COO minus and H plus, where we can see that this sulfonated or carboxylated group are having the loosely bound H plus ion, due to which it can be easily get exchanged with the cations present in water. So that is the cation exchange resin. Anion exchange resin. Now anion exchange resin is also called as anion exchanger. So the resin which can easily exchange its OH minus ion with the anions present in water is known as anion exchange resin. Here again it's a type of polymer having a styrene divinyl benzene or amine formaldehyde copolymer which will have the amino or quaternary ammonium group with the loosely bound OH minus ions. Means when we will pass the water sample through this anion exchange resin, all the anions will get exchanged with the OH minus ions present in water. Now what is the principle of this method? Now when water containing dissolved salts is passed through cation exchanger, it exchanges all cations in water with H plus ions from resin. Then the water is passed through the anion exchanger where it exchanges all anions in water with OH minus ions from resin, and then water become free from both cations and anions. Water obtained is thus demineralized water. So demineralization process or ion exchange process. So this is the diagram for this demineralization process. Here we can see that we are having the presence of the two tanks. One is containing the cation exchanger resin and another one is containing the anion exchanger resin. To this cation exchanger resin we are having two inlets. One is for hard water and another one is for dilute HCl, and one outlet to collect the water sample. Then anion exchanger resin is again having the two inlets to collect the water sample from cation exchange resin and another one for dilute NaOH. And then to collect the soft water it will be having this outlet. Now here we can see from this diagram that in this cation exchanger resin we are having this loosely bound H plus ions in the resin. Okay, now see, when we will pass the hard water through this cation exchanger resin, suppose it is having this calcium sulfate and NaCl ion. So water will percolate through this resin, and what will happen now? The cations like Ca2 plus and Na plus ions will be captured by this bed, and then in exchange we will get the H plus ions to the water sample. So now the water sample will have the species H2SO4 and HCl. Now this acidic water we will give it to the anion exchanger resin. Now in this anion exchanger resin we can see we are having the loosely bound OH minus ion. So this anions means SO4 2 minus sulfate and chloride ions. Now when it will pass through this anion exchanger resin, when it will percolate through this anion exchanger resin, OH minus ions will get exchanged with this anions. Means sulfate and chloride will be captured by this resin, and in exchange we will get OH minus ions to the water sample. Means now the water coming out from anion exchanger resin will have only H plus and OH minus. That will combine to give us the pure water sample where it is free from all the types of ions, and that is why it is known as the deionized water or demineralized water. D means removal. Demineralization means removal of minerals, removal of ions, and that is why the method is known as the demineralization process or deionization process. Now what type of reactions are being taking place during this process, that we will see here. See, when we are passing our water sample through the cation exchanger resin, suppose it is having calcium bicarbonate, then it is passing through this cation exchanger resin, which is generally represented as RH2. So this calcium is being retained by the resin, and in exchange we got this H plus. Similarly, suppose we are having magnesium chloride, then when we are passing it through this cation exchanger resin, magnesium is being retained by the resin, and in exchange we are getting the H plus ion. Means here we can say whatever type of cations present in water like calcium, magnesium, Na plus etc., that will get retained by the resin, and in exchange we are getting the H plus ions into the water sample. So the water coming out from cation exchanger resin is acidic in nature, and this acidic water is being then passed through the anion exchanger resin, where it will remove all the types of anions present in water. Now what type of reactions are taking place in anion exchanger resin? Let us see. Now anion exchanger resin, it will be generally represented as R-OH twice. Now see here, this is our acidic output from cation exchanger resin. Now when we are passing it through this anion exchanger resin, the anions that are being retained by the resin, and in exchange we have got this OH minus ion, which combine to give us this water molecule. Means here we can say the water coming out from cation and then anion exchanger resin is free from all the ions, known as the deionized or demineralized water. Now the water will also have to absorb tendency to absorb the gases like oxygen, CO2 etc. present in the atmosphere, and that may also carry out the problems in the boilers. So here we can carry out the deionization followed by degasification, so that we can get the distilled water standard by this ion exchange method. Now see here, that is our regular process, where when we will put the hard water into a cation exchanger resin, all the cations will be absorbed by the resin. In exchange we will get H plus ions. While when it is passed through the anion exchanger resin, all the anions will be absorbed by the resin, and in exchange we will get the OH minus ions. Okay. Now one stage will come where what will happen, that all the cations will be get absorbed by the resin, and now we will not have the free H plus, or we will not have the free OH minus. Then that type of resin cannot carry out the softening, and then that resins will be known as the exhausted resin. So here we can regenerate them by passing some type of solution. So exhausted cation exchange resin can be regenerated by passing the dilute HCl or dilute H2SO4 solution, where H plus ion from acid will be exchanged with calcium and magnesium ions present in exhausted bed. Now what type of reaction is taking place? See here. So here it is our calcium and magnesium resin. When we will pass dilute HCl through this resin, it becomes regenerated, means convert to H2R, means now free H plus will be available for further softening, and the salts will be then collected. Similarly, we can carry out regeneration of anion exchanger resin by using dilute NaOH. Now suppose this is our anion exchanger resin containing chlorides and sulfate. Now when we will pass NaOH, what will happen? That this sulfate and chloride will get exchanged with OH minus, and we will get now R dash OH twice, means our resin is regenerated, and then we can collect this salts. So washings that can be drained out, and now our resins, that is both cation exchange resin and anion exchanger resin, will be now available to carry out more and more softening of the water sample. So this is all about our demineralization method, where we can say that we are using two types of resin, cation exchange resin and anion exchanger resin. In cation exchanger resin, we are having loosely bound H plus, while in anion exchanger resin, we are having loosely bound OH minus ion. When we pass a water sample through cation exchange resin, it exchanges all cations in water with H plus from resin, while when we will pass the water through anion exchanger resin, then it exchanges all anions in water with OH minus ions of the resin. This is demineralization method. Now what are the advantages of this demineralization method? That highly acidic or alkaline water can be purified by this method. Water obtained from the demineralization process, it will be having very low hardness, about 0 to 2 ppm. The deionized water is being suitable for high pressure boiler. So these are the advantages. Now what are the disadvantages? That here the equipment which we are using for this demineralization process is costly, and chemicals which we are using here, that are also expensive. Now here, if we are having the turbidity in the water sample, in our hard water sample, then it will blocks the pores of the resin, and then we cannot have this softening process. So that are the disadvantages of this demineralization process. So here when we compare it with the zeolite method, in zeolite method we are having only exchange of cations, while in deionization method, cations as well as anions that can be easily exchanged, and that is why we can say this method as demineralization method or deionization method. So this is all about our today's demineralization method. Thank you.